Hello, welcome to this lesson about developing the medical omnichannel strategy. In the last episode, we talked about the concept of omnichannel strategy, its components, and core concepts. Now, after understanding everything about it and about the concept, it is time to start putting our plan together. And in order to start planning, we have to start with stakeholder identification. I believe that we already know our customers, and if we are working in medical affairs, we have lists of our key opinion leaders. So, identifying stakeholders is done. Maybe you need to go back, refine the list, add more stakeholders according to the medical strategies in your organization. But the next most important step is to conduct needs analysis. So you need to start an omnichannel planning or an omnichannel strategy. To develop it, you need to understand the needs of your customers who are already identified. What's their preferences? And in order to do this, you need to conduct what is known as needs analysis. We will share some information about it. However, I would like to recommend here that you don't build your plan based on assumption and based that you imagine that you know all the needs of your customers. You need to take this step in order to ensure success of the strategy. Talking about conducting needs analysis, we need to answer two questions: why to conduct it and how to conduct it. Why to conduct needs analysis? For three main reasons. One, targeted engagement, because knowing your stakeholders' needs enables you to engage them in a more meaningful way. The second reason is resource optimization. It helps in allocating resources more efficiently by focusing on the activities that offer the most value to your customers or stakeholders. The third reason is strategic alignment, which will take place probably at a later stage. A needs analysis ensures that your omnichannel strategy aligns with the broader objectives of the organization and the specific goals of each stakeholder group. So, three main reasons why this is important. I would add another reason that it helps you to avoid building your strategy based on assumptions. Okay, now how to conduct a needs analysis. There are multiple ways to do it, and it's all based on the fact that you need to collect data. So use surveys or conduct interviews with the key stakeholders or refer to the existing data, probably from the key opinion leader engagement profiling that you have, and filter the data in order to know more information about the needs of your stakeholders and their preferences. So utilize any methodology you want, whether surveys, interviews, if you have the data already on file, and answer one question: what is the stakeholders' needs and preferences when it comes to content, maybe when it comes to channels, when it comes to time of engagement, and so on. The second step after conducting or doing the data collection will be segmentation, and it's a very interesting and let me say not easy step. So the segmentation will classify the stakeholders into different categories based on various parameters like the influence, interest, or needs. And if we are talking about medical affairs, You may define specific categories to classify your customers according, for example, to their publications or academic background or their leadership in the medical community and so on. The most important point here is that this segmentation should be aligned somehow with the segmentation that happens with other departments by other departments targeting the same customer somehow. We will discuss this in details in the next few slides. Also, it may be the right time now when you think about segmentation to link this to the personas that you will need in the strategy, because remember we said that this is a personalized experience. So in order to segment and classify or divide your customers into certain segments or certain categories, you need to define the persona of each category. After the segmentation, you will do prioritization, rank the needs of each stakeholder group based on urgency, impact, and feasibility. And maybe you need to conduct a gap analysis to identify the gaps between current offerings in terms of services to the customers and the stakeholders' actual needs to find areas for improvement. And this is a very, very important step. So, you know the services that your function as medical affairs provides, and knowing now your customer needs in a better way will help you to identify any gaps, and this is called by gap analysis. Finally, you can do some validation or pilot some trial in order to validate the findings that you came out with some key stakeholders to ensure accuracy and comprehensiveness. So, the steps that you need to follow are: collect data, do the segmentation, do prioritization, and prioritization, as we mentioned, rank the needs of each stakeholder group based on the urgency, impact, and feasibility. And you may need to do a gap analysis and validation. So these are the steps you need to follow in order to have an effective exercise that will help you later on put a very successful or a plan or a strategy that will reach successful levels. Let's talk about segmentation in medical affairs and see how can we align our segmentation approach with marketing approaches. Segmentation is a critical aspect of stakeholder engagement in medical affairs. It involves categorization of stakeholders based on various parameters to tailor engagement strategies effectively later on. However, the approach to segmentation in medical affairs often differs from that in marketing, creating a need for alignment. So let's see how we do segmentation in medical affairs. Our approach in segmentation is generally more scientific and academically oriented. And here are some parameters that we may consider while doing the segmentation in similar exercises like omnichannel strategy. What we can use as a parameter is, for example, the therapeutic area expertise. Stakeholders may be segmented based on specialization in a specific therapeutic area. Research contribution. Some stakeholders might be key contributors to scientific research and thus require different engagement strategy. The influence level. Key opinion leaders and emerging leaders are often segmented based on their influence within the medical community. And sometimes we can use a parameter like the geographical location. Especially, this is important for reaching stakeholders in remote areas or those practicing in highly specialized medical centers. On the other hand, The marketing approach to segmentation usually employs a more commercial approach to segmentation, focusing on, for example, the buying pattern or behavior, how often stakeholders interact with the brand or purchase products, engagement levels. Of course, when it comes to medical affairs, it's not purchasing, it's prescribing or something like this. Engagement level, how marketing can measure certain the engagements in different of different channels like website visits, webinar attendance, or response to promotional campaigns, and so on. Another parameter also that is commonly used is the customer lifetime value, long-term value of a stakeholder brings to a brand. Okay, so completely two different approaches, and still there is a need for alignment. So, how can we align the two approaches together? Here are some tips to answer this question. First, try to find the common background. Identify parameters that are more important for both medical and marketing. For example, the geographical location could be a common parameter. Integrated database. Create an integrated stakeholder database which includes both medical and marketing parameters if you can do that. Do cross functional workshops. Plan together. Approach marketing with unified metrics so they can use some metrics that you are utilizing or using. Of course, this has a lot of limitations, but try to find, as I mentioned, a common background. Or pilot testing. Before full-scale implementation, test the alignment segmentation strategy on a smaller scale to measure the effectiveness. And I think the results of this pilot can impact the opinion and the segmentation strategy. What I want to say here is that segmentation is critical for both medical affairs and marketing, but the approaches can differ significantly. Finding a way to align these strategies not only will enhance the stakeholder engagement, but also will create a more cohesive and effective omni-channel strategy. And remember, when I mentioned that the omni-channel strategy is not a function-specific strategy; it's a cross-functional approach. So this alignment is very important. It may require some internal effort, some time, but the long-term benefits in terms of stakeholder engagement and resource optimization are well worth it. Let me share with you some personal opinion here when it comes to alignment with the marketing. When it comes to the segmentation, I think patient-centric approach is a very good pathway to alignment in segmentation between both teams, the medical affairs and the marketing. Why? Let me share with you my thoughts. The patient-centric approach has become a cornerstone in healthcare, particularly in the pharmaceutical industry. This approach places the patient at the center of all strategies and decision making processes. So, whether you are medical or you are marketing, you are targeting a patient centric approach. Interestingly, the focus on patient centricity could serve as a common background for aligning the segmentation and persona identification strategies for both medical and marketing. Why patient centricity specifically? Because it has the unified goal. Both departments aim to improve patient outcomes through different means. Medical, probably through the scientific engagements, and marketing through solution offering or product promotion. The shared stakeholders in a patient centric model, the primary stakeholder for both departments is the patient. Whether you are reaching the patient directly or indirectly, I mean directly via a patient advocacy group or indirectly via the healthcare professional, along with healthcare professionals themselves, who will influence the patient care at the end of the day. Also, patient-centric approach has common metrics like patient satisfaction, treatment adherence, and quality of life can be universally applied, making it easier to align on both strategies. So there are a lot of common factors between medical and marketing when it comes to patient-centric approach, and that's why I think that it's a very good pathway for alignment when it comes to segmentation of customers. The advantages of alignment through patient centricity includes enhanced stakeholder engagement, which is a unified patient-centric approach to ensure that all communication and engagements are tailored to meet the needs of the patient, and so increasing the stakeholder engagement. Also, it will help if we align through the patient-centric approach, it will help resource optimization. With aligned segmentation, both the medical and marketing teams can share resources like data analytics tools, reducing operational costs significantly, specifically for medical colleagues. Consistent messages, which is the ultimate objective of the omni-channel approach. Data synergy, because shared focus allows for a more integrated data strategy where insights from one department can easily be applied to the other. And let's remember that whenever you see a market research conducted by marketing team, you consider it and you learn from it and consider the learnings in your medical strategies as well. So whether the data comes from marketing or the data is coming from medical, it's useful. And having an integrated approach again will help getting more insights out of this data. So that's my opinion about the alignment when it comes to segmentation of customers for an omni-channel strategy, and my thoughts that the patient-centric approach is a very good common background to help this alignment between the medical team from one side and the marketing team from the other side. Let's go back to this chart to see where we are now. We have discussed in this episode the stakeholder identification and the needs analysis, and included in the needs analysis the segmentation strategy and how to align with cross-functional teams and specifically marketing team. So I think that's it for today. Please do yourself a favor and allocate time to study your module. There is a lot of information in the module, and I think it will be mandatory in order to understand the real omni-channel approach and navigate in this domain smoothly. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon.